And now, your host, Beth Ann.
And I welcome you today to CSC Talk Radio. It is my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to be here with you today. What an array of idiocy we have elected to Congress. And I don't mean just last week either. How far from our freedoms and independence have we gone? And how far are we going to continue to go away from that freedom and independence? This is Friday, and just like our situation here in our nation, it isn't really free. Freedom comes with a price. And it would seem to me the American people, sorry for the generalization, I'm including me in this as well, are no longer even willing to pay a small price for independence and freedom. They prefer dependence over independence. We are, too lazy to question the authority of the D.C. occupiers occupying offices and cutting deals. In February, I broke an elbow. And for the first time in my life, I had to have surgery. It seemed like forever before I could independently care for myself. From dressing to opening a jar or a can, fixing my hair, driving my car, it was frustrating for me. Couldn't play the piano, I couldn't type. And to be independent, to be dependent on another. And it's not a walk in the park. It wasn't a walk in the park for the hubby either. He didn't particularly appreciate it all. Well, I'm back into that scenario again after a fall on the ice last Saturday. No surgery necessary, but I have a fractured shoulder. My point is, I don't like being dependent. And I don't mind people helping me once in a while, but when you have to completely rely on another, it's just not a pleasant place to be. It can be humbling, which isn't bad. That's a good thing. It can make you appreciate the independence more that you have just lost. And you might long for that. Work hard to gain it back. But we as a nation, I fear, we as a nation of people are too lazy to do our Patriot PT. PT's hard. They say, well, you got to do it to get the muscle back. You got to do it to do this, to do that. And why is that? Why will we not do our patriotic PT? Have we been lulled to sleep? I say it goes back to that again. That phrase, that poem, whatever we want to call it, from Bondage. We have forgotten what it's like to be in bondage, and so now that we are right close to that, we don't recognize it. From bondage to spiritual faith, where's the faith of the people here in this nation today? From spiritual faith to great courage, where's the courage to stand up for what is right and what is righteous? From courage to liberty, you've been liberated. Freedom or truth will set you free, but we don't seem to want to hear the truth. And when you've been liberated, you have abundance. You've got this freedom, this independence, and you can do these things, and you can make a living. You can do whatever. From abundancy, we get a little complacent. It doesn't matter. And from complacency, we go to apathy. From apathy to dependence. And from dependence, once again, back into bondage. We have these elected officials now more than ever before that are pushing, legislating socialist laws and rules to gain more control over your lives. The mandates, the licenses, the permits. The marvel of all history is the patience with which men and women will submit to burdens unnecessarily laid upon them by their government. Why is that? We seem to be a patient people. But they have gone so far, I fear we don't even recognize the loss of independence. We out here and think, well, I'm driving a car, I'm dependent, I can do whatever I want. But you can't. And doing whatever you want, that type of freedom, that's chaos, that's not true liberty. And this is from Earl Chapman on the word necessity. We hear them say it's necessary to have, government-controlled health care. It's necessary to do this or to do that. Necessity is the plea. Okay, right now, we're going to talk about some of the things that these newly elected people want. So think about that when we get to that topic. Necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedom. It is the argument of tyrants. It is the creed of slaves. So when they tell us it's necessary, we've quit questioning them, and we just accept it. Well, climate change is, it's our biggest threat. We need to do something about it. We need more money to fight climate change, global warming, more money. The education situation in this nation, we need more money for that. It's necessary that we have more money. I tried saying that at home. I didn't get very far. It's necessary. Today we're going to visit with Daniel Turner. And then later in the show, we're going to have a new, well, he's not new. He's been on the air before with us, but it's been a while. If you'll remember Roger Simmermaker. He wrote the book, and many of you ordered it, and I still have several of them. I don't remember the price of them. But it's My Company 'Tis of Thee. And that has been my resource book, trying to reach out to these new advertisers, whether they're affiliates or sponsors of the show. So he's going to talk, he's writing a new book, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. He doesn't have it ready to sell. We're just going to talk about it because it's about tariffs. We have made a push in this show in the last several months to really push all-American markets, all-American marketing, made in the USA. We're going to have a special show next Friday. I hope you tune in. Every one of them is going to join me. Well, almost every one of them. They're going to join me. And instead of having a Black Friday, we want you to have a Red, White, and Blue Friday. So make sure you tune in for that show. And Daniel Turner and I, well, you know what? I'm going to wait till he's here. And we're going to make an announcement. We have 2 special shows coming up that he and I have, he really helped me get it done. But he and I have managed to book a guest. But I'm going to keep it right there because Daniel will be with us here in just a few minutes. And we have an announcement to make. Also, write this down on your calendar. December 28th, CSC Talk Radio, 2,000 shows old. You're listening to CSC Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann. I'm going to hold off on the calls, but write the number down, 877-895-5410. And when we come back, Daniel will be with us. And we will be right back.